Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome back to another session with me. My name is Emilio Jose Garcia, and this show is called Your Thriving Lifestyle. These live sessions are called Your Thriving Lifestyle. For those of you who are new, I just want to let you know that I do have a circle here on Inside Timer that is called the same way, Your Thriving Lifestyle, where I share the recordings of these sessions and I share tips and people get to communicate with each other and we all thrive together. Okay, so thank you so much for making it today. I am so happy to share with you today's topic about emotional items and mementos, and I am happy to brainstorm ideas with you and share some strategies for you to be able to deal with those emotional items in a healthier way, in a better way, in a way that feels more intentional to you. Okay, before getting started, I would like to do a little practice. I have my singing bowl today, so I'm just gonna play my little singing bowl, and I would like you to get comfortable. Just take a couple of deep breaths with me. Just relax. Just allow yourself to be in the present moment, right here in this session with me and with everybody else that is present. And I would like to invite you now to connect with any items that are in your life right now, that they are present right now in your life, and you feel very emotional about them. Okay? So just do a quick scan of your home. Maybe you can go room by room. Maybe you already know what it is. Maybe it's a specific category of things that when you try to tackle them, you just can't. Maybe very strong emotions show up when you are trying to confront those items, make decisions about them. Maybe you have items that remind you of a past experience that was really hard for you. Maybe a divorce, maybe a situation that you were involved and those items remind you of that. Maybe it's a business that you started and it fell, didn't go as planned, and then you have paperwork, and every time you try to tackle that, all those memories show up for you and you just can't do anything about it. You just feel frozen. Maybe you have items that belong to a loved one that is no longer here with you, and every time you try to make decisions about those items, it's just really hard. Maybe you are still grieving. Maybe there are other emotions that you need to go through, and you just didn't allow yourself time and space to actually digest them, process them in a way that feels good to you. So they are very fresh, they are still in you. And every time you try to confront those physical items, they are a reminder of those emotions. Just connect with whatever it is present in your life right now that has an emotional charge for you. Sometimes they are physical items, sometimes they are digital items, sometimes they are other things. They don't have to be specifically physical only. So I want you to bring awareness to to that. It's really important to really accept the reality. It's very important to be able to maybe put a name on those emotions. How are you feeling? If you don't know yet, maybe it's a sign that you need to spend a little bit more time thinking about it, reflecting. It's important to do that work. I call it invisible work because many times we are trying to declutter and organize our lives and we are only focusing on the physical aspect of it. We just want to get started and make physical change. But sometimes you just can't. How many times have you tried and maybe you were not able to move forward doing the physical work? That's a clear sign that there is invisible work that needs to happen first. That invisible work is mental work, it's emotional work, it's communication work, it's anything and everything that you need to do to be able to gain clarity and confidence and to feel clear, to be able to actually do the physical work, to be able to make decisions with clarity, with confidence, honoring the person that you want to become, and also honoring whatever memories or emotions are attached to those things. So that's why this session is so important. And this is a session that is included in one of my courses here on Inside Timer called Creating Your Peaceful and Clutter-Free Home. If you guys haven't done it, I will invite you to do it. You can find it under my profile, under courses, and this is one of the sessions that is included in that course. If you are listening to the recording, I will include a link below. Okay? Many times I see a lot of people missing this step, skipping this step. And the result of that, sadly, is that they cannot declutter and organize that space the way they would like to. We tend to skip and avoid this step because it is difficult, because it is uncomfortable, because it's inviting you to process strong emotions, because it's going to require time from you to do this work. So there are many reasons why we tend to avoid and skip this step. But today I want to shine the light on that step, and I want to share with you how important it is to do this work. Okay? So I will invite you to come back when you feel comfortable. You can open your eyes. Just keep breathing throughout the session deeply and in a comfortable pace for you. And now I will invite you to share in the chat what is present in your life right now that is very emotional for you. You can name a specific category, a specific item, a specific area of your life, and you can name some of the reasons too. Maybe it's because someone passed away, maybe it's a divorce, maybe it's something you bought and you feel guilty because you spend the money and you don't use it. This happens a lot with exercise equipment in the basement, huge machines, very expensive, and people don't want to get rid of them sometimes because it costs them a lot of money and effort to get them. And the idea of letting them go and losing the money and also proving themselves that they failed, it's really hard. So just put in the chat what came up for you, what is present in your life that is causing you emotional attachment to things. So Tonya says 2 categories: father's belongings and paperwork, and also trying to transition my home office of 25 years into a study. Loss of that and business, both 2 years ago. Yeah, Tonya, really hard. Very two big life events that happened to you, and you are still trying to catch up with them, right? It takes time sometimes. Liz says, going through items of my past from the attic, planning to join partner in Spain in the future. Liz, Spain is beautiful. That's a huge motivation for you to go through those things. Looking at childhood stuff. The state of my home I share sometimes with my young adult children. Thank you, Claire, for sharing that. I am having problems getting rid of my beautiful work clothing. I am retired now. It's so hard to let go, but I love the clothes. Thank you so much, Monica, for sharing. Childhood, overwhelm, exhaustion. Where do I start? Yeah, where to get started? Mine is from all jobs I lost or left. Thank you, Gwen, for sharing that. As you see, everybody has different categories. Everybody has different things that trigger them emotionally. Cecilia says, I am a collector of items, but some are in boxes. How do I minimize? Beautiful. In the past 5 years, loss of mother and father. In last 6 years, and clearing up their physical and financial clutter. Huge job, Maya. Huge job. Yeah, must be really difficult to do all that work, mental work and physical work, while you are still processing emotions, grieving their loss, and still getting used to the idea of not having them anymore here. It's really hard sometimes to adjust to that. So I really celebrate your progress, and I really honor your work, and I really feel your loss because it must be really hard. So how to get started, guys, when you are facing that emotional charge with things, with items, and you just can't get started? So there are different strategies, okay? And this work is very personal, very unique. And you have to keep in mind that this journey is gonna look different for each of you. So I wish I had a magic recipe that I will share with you and everybody can follow and everybody can get the results that they want very quickly. But the truth is that doesn't exist, because we are all very unique and different personalities, different lifestyles, different beliefs, different ways of doing things. So what's gonna work for some is not maybe gonna work the same way for others. But there are some general strategies that I have personally seen that work with a very nice variety of people. Okay, so you guys wanna listen to some of these strategies, and do you have any strategies that you have done before I share the ones I have? Have you done anything that have helped you move forward with emotional items? Have you guys done anything that has been successful to you? Because sometimes that's really helpful to hear others' experiences that have been successful. Is really helpful and inspiring. So please share now whatever your experience has been. So I have been purging my entire home despite having a very painful knee issue, throwing out 35 years of veterinary medical papers and booklets, stuffed animals of my kids, etc. Feels so liberating. Good job. Good work, Jana. Tanya says, a friend comes over. So a friend comes over and helps you. Is that correct? Yes, I set a timer and do it in small chunks. Beautiful. Using a timer. I just took a picture of something dear before donating it. Taking photos of things that you love before donating them it's a great idea to keep the memory, but don't have to keep the physical object. With paperwork, photos, letters, etc., a ceremonial burning in back garden. Claire, love that idea. My wife and I, sometimes we do burning ceremonies, and it's a great way to honor something and to make a ceremony and set an intention that feels really good, to let go of something with that intention, and then you think about what's coming new, what's going to come in place of those things that you are burning, and it's a very beautiful ceremony. So thank you so much for sharing that. Try to donate clothes. Donation is always beautiful because you are giving your things a new life, and visualizing someone else loving your clothes your items again can be the motivation that you need to give them a new life. My life partner and I have hit a huge blockade when it comes to reading the home of years of items. How do I work with them in a productive way when their feelings are very tied up in all of the things? Yeah, okay. So many times helping someone else go through this process is even more challenging than doing it yourself. Because if they are not ready, there is very little that you can do. There is very little that you can do. So that's why it's a very fine balance here that you need to find. And sometimes someone needs to ask for the help before you can give it. Uh, for example, we cannot help someone that is not ready to receive our help. And so many times we receive calls from family members, friends, oh, my friend, oh, my partner needs help. But then we try to talk to them because sometimes they don't want the help. And there is very little you can do if they don't want to be helped, right? I just hired an organizer because I just don't know where to start. Liz, beautiful idea. Sometimes bringing someone from the outside to show you how to do the process is really helpful because you don't need to know how to do it. If you have never done it, if you didn't have the opportunity to learn this from someone else, this is a skill that you can learn anytime in your life. So it's never too late to learn this skill. So bringing someone into your home or doing a virtual session with someone that is an expert can help you create a strategy, can help you move forward, can help you keep yourself accountable, and can help you give you strategies and steps to follow that have proven to be successful with other people. And this is what I always do with you guys. I always share things that I have seen working with other people because I have the opportunity to work with a lot of people, right, in the past. So I have seen what works and what doesn't. And it's very nice to condense the strategies that I have seen work. And now it's a recipe that works pretty well with majority of the people. That's why I feel so comfortable sharing them with you. So really need hand holding. I did it years ago. Yeah, sometimes hand holding means getting emotional support, getting mental support, getting physical support, doing the actual work. And anytime you face an item that is triggering physical and emotions in you, it's very helpful to have someone that is listening to you with an open mind, with an open heart, and is helping you to go through that emotional journey that you need to go through in order for you to feel clear with that physical item and then be ready to make a decision about it. That's a huge work that so many times people don't understand. And that's something that we professional organizers do with people. We hold their hands through the emotional roller coaster of making a decision about items that they don't know what to do and they feel very emotional about. Okay? So that's very normal and you are not alone. So Amy says, I visualize a timeline of my life's journey. Think ahead to when I am in my 80s. What items benchmark press coverage from fears of touring? Yeah, I struggled to let go of the success when I was healthy. So some items are like Amy is sharing, some items are representing her past, her successful past. And her present now doesn't look the same as the past did. So for Amy, it's hard to let go of something that represents a high in her life. That she was successful, she was touring, she was doing something that she loved, and now she cannot do the same thing. And so confronting those items are bringing her memories of those times that she probably misses. So that's emotions too that are showing up and are preventing you from doing the work. Okay? Yeah, playing a very light-hearted movie in the background that I have seen several times while I do difficult things like medical paperwork. So that helps you. Beautiful, Amy. That's a self-care practice, right? Sometimes having a movie, having a documentary, having music, having a podcast, video calling a friend, doing something while you are doing that emotional task is really helpful to help you move forward. Okay? Jana says, I find that taking photos really helps you let go of the physical item. You know you can look at it later even if you can't touch it anymore. Jana, I agree with you, and that's one of the strategies that I always share, especially with items that are big, okay, that they take a lot of space, and some people need the space. Okay, so for those people, taking a photo it's a very good idea. So let's dive into some strategies that I have seen successfully working for a lot of people. Okay, when it comes to physical items, one of the first steps that I always recommend you do, it's always become aware. Become aware of what? Become aware of who do you want to be. Okay, what identity do you want to embrace? And then once you get clear on that, you start thinking about what kind of activities do I want to do in my life? What kind of home do I want to have? How do I want to feel in that home? Okay? Start connecting with that vision, with that future that maybe right now it doesn't exist, but I don't want you to. This is what happens to a lot of people. They look at the things that they have in front of them and they try to create a life with those things. And sometimes that's not the right answer because it's not intentional, it's not fulfilling, it's not something that they feel well about. But they are trying to make do, they're trying to honor those things by creating space, and maybe they don't even need them. So I will invite you to do the opposite. I will invite you to first connect with the vision of what kind of life do you want to have? What kind of person do you want to be? What kind of activities, hobbies do you want to do? What do you want your time to be used for? And your energy and your creativity. Okay? Start thinking about that and start connecting with that. Once you find something that it's exciting to you, something that appeals to you, and you need to trust your intuition here. Once you start connecting with something that feels good, emotionally speaking, it feels good. It's like, I like that. It feels good to me to think about me doing that or me living in that place. Once you start connecting with that future vision, that's when you are going to start gaining motivation, you're going to start gaining clarity, and then you are going to start feeling ready to move forward to make that vision a reality. Okay, that's when you are going to start looking at your things, confronting them, and then you are going to start making decisions with more intention, with more clarity, with more confidence, because you know where you are going, you know what you want. And then it's very easy for you to say, okay, is this item going to help me create the vision that I had or not? And if the answer is no, you can honor it and you can accept that you don't need that item anymore. Okay? And if you don't need it, it's better to give that item a new life than to have it buried in a closet, buried in the basement, buried in the attic. Sometimes thinking about that, thinking about the item as a person, something with life, with energy, and then you're thinking about, wow, I have this item here, trapped in the closet, trapped in the basement. How fair is that? And how can I give this item a new life if I no longer need it? Okay. So another thing that I always invite you to do is find the happy balance between how much space you have, okay, and how many items you have. And then that has to be balanced. If you have a huge amount of items and you don't have physical space to store them, to display them, to honor them the way they deserve, then it's a clear sign that you need to declutter or you need to move into a bigger home. Okay, you have to do either of those. But majority of the times, when you are facing emotional items, majority of the times those items are coming to you from a family member, from a friend, from a past experience, and all of a sudden you are flooded with all these items that you have to deal with. So when that happens, creating healthy boundaries is also very important. Okay, creating healthy boundaries in the way of, once you have the home that you like, you are ruthless about what comes into your home. Okay, especially when an inheritance comes, especially when someone is giving you something and you feel guilty about saying no. So you have to be clear about the life you want to have, the home you want to have, and how you use your time and energy and space. And once you start getting in your flow, it's going to be easier for you to say no to things, to find different alternatives, different ways. Okay? When it comes to inheritances, there are also different strategies to deal with those inheritances before it becomes a huge mess. becomes before all the things end up in your home, cluttering every space, and then you don't know what to do and you cannot function. And this is what happens to a lot of people. They allow that to happen, and then all of a sudden they are facing a huge amount of physical items everywhere, and they don't know where to get started because those items are also emotional. So before letting that happen, it's very important to have conversations with family members prior to, hopefully prior to getting ready. And there is a concept called Swedish death cleaning. If you guys have heard about that concept, that's coming from Sweden, and that's a philosophy that they have there. And the name, I don't really love the death in that name, the Swedish death cleaning, because it means that you are cleaning before you die. But they use that concept to reassess everything that they have in every stage of their lives. So people say, I am doing the death cleaning when they have a baby, when their children leave their homes and they are downsizing to a smaller space, when they have a change of career and they have to move into a different town. So they use that concept a lot in those scenarios because for them, Swedish death cleaning means recalibrating, reconsidering your options, your physical belongings, the way you live and what you need. What are your new needs in this new stage of your life? So it's important to talk about this with your loved ones, especially the ones that are getting older, so that they start understanding the concept. Because if you don't do it, so if they don't do that work, you will have to do it after. And that's the second option. If they don't want to do the work and they are very close-minded, that happens to a lot of families, then you need to have a plan in place for when tragedy happens, when they end up leaving, when they die, when they pass away, or when they have to downsize, when they have to go to a nursery home, an elderly home, a retirement home, like whatever transition they are going to, and they need to downsize, you need to have a plan. And what I always invite people to do is, if you have family members, siblings, someone that is going to be involved in that process, it's nice to have a meeting prior to and get on the same page. What's going to happen when we need to do something about all these things? Who is going to take charge of what? It's also an opportunity. I have seen this happening with my wife's grandparents. When they were aging, they both had the conversation of, when I am not here, what do you want? And they ask every family member, and they use masking tape, and behind every piece of furniture, behind the cuckoo clock, behind the guitar, behind the TV, they had masking tape with a name. And then Samantha, my wife, she said, I would like to have the cuckoo clock, I would like to have that desk, and I would like to have that dresser. So the family members, they agreed on what each one is getting, and the grandmother and the grandfather got and put the tape behind the furniture pieces. So when they were gone, it was very easy. Everything was pretty much done. They didn't have a hard time. It's still hard, but it's not as hard if you don't have any plans. So I have seen that working really well, having conversations prior to, making like a family gathering where everybody comes together. We had a nice dinner, and then everybody got to decide, oh, what would you like? I would like that piece. I don't want that. Who wants that? Samantha wants that. Okay, Samantha, anyone else wants that? Oh, Claire wants it too. Okay, so Claire, Samantha, how do you want to agree with this? And then finding those solutions, right? Prior to. That was really, really helpful. So those are some ideas to have a strategy, a plan in place. Okay? And many times you guys are saying, my dad kept everything, my mom kept everything, and they didn't want to declare it, they didn't want us to help them do anything. That's the reality for a lot of people. And sometimes, I know this sounds a little bit maybe not what you want to hear, but if they don't want to change, you cannot force them to do it. That's why you just have to accept what they want to do, honor it, try to make it as painless as possible where they are capable. And then once they are not capable anymore and you need to step in and you have to make decisions, that's when you have a plan of attack with your siblings and you have an idea of what to do. But having conversations, planting these seeds in their minds, talking about what's going to happen with things, it's really helpful, and it will help them slowly open up their minds to these possibilities. Okay? Many times when no one wants anything, because everybody has already enough in their homes and they don't want anything from their family members, that's when you can explore other ideas. You can explore like running an auction. You can explore donating to a good cause. You can explore selling things privately prior to. You can explore different ideas to get rid of those things, to give those things a new life. And I don't like the concept of getting rid of things. I'd rather accept more giving those unwanted items a new deserved life. And when I use this phrasing with people, they change how they foresee getting rid of things. Because people don't like getting rid of their loved belongings, the things that they love and the things that they use for 30 years. They don't like the concept of I'm getting rid of the things I love. But if you rephrase it in a way like, listen, no one needs these things. They are beautiful things that they serve you for 30 years, and I want them to keep serving someone else for another 30 years. So let's find a new home. Let's find a family that will love these things again. How do you feel about that? And majority of the times, people are more open-minded to that idea because what they see in their minds is a dumpster bin and all the things going in there. And that's what some people do. They hire a big dumpster and they throw everything in there and they take it to the landfill. So a lot of people have that idea in mind and they hate that. So that's why there are a lot of new possibilities for you to explore. And I invite you to do that so that those items don't end up in your home, triggering you emotionally and disrupting your life way more than they need to. Okay? So guys, how are you feeling so far about these ideas? How are you feeling so far about these ideas? Monica says, I feel so motivated. Now I'm going in a 11 DST vacation, then I'm coming back to start donating the clothes. Good. I like how you reframe things. We have a buy nothing group in our town. I give something away every week. Amazing. So there are communities that do that, right? There is also a community called Free Cycle. So FREE Cycle, CYCLE.org, ORG. That community exists everywhere. I used it in New Zealand, I used it in Spain, and I used it here in Canada. And it's an amazing an amazing community to give away things to people that need them. Okay? But yeah, guys, it's very important the awareness piece with yourself and with other people that you are helping to. With yourself, it's a good way for you to gain clarity about connecting with that vision that you want to create for yourself. Okay? When you are helping other people like your parents, your siblings, an elder friend, it's very important to get in their minds first. You are not going in and giving them ideas and spitting them strategies that they can follow. You are trying to understand how they think. You are trying to understand the connection that they have with their belongings, what they would like to see happening, what will make them happy. And anytime they are facing something that is unrealistic, try to reframe it in a way that feels good to them or inviting them to brainstorm ideas. Because if your parents want to donate all their furniture to their children, and imagine that you have 2 siblings, so there are 3 of you, and no one needs anything, but your parents have the expectation that you guys are gonna take everything and use it. So you have 2 options. Number 1, you take their items and you get rid of something that you don't need. Like if you get a beautiful table that you love, maybe you don't need the table that you have now. So you can make a transition and make that happen. Or you can tell them like, I don't need your things and I don't want them and I don't need them. And then they will understand, okay, so I cannot do this. And they will be in denial for a little bit. But if you keep repeating it, and you keep loving them, respecting them, helping them, but always being with that healthy boundary, like, Mom, nothing is coming to my home because I don't need it. and my brothers and sisters, they don't need them either. They already have enough. And then inviting them to think about, do you want us to have a home that is cluttered, where we are going to feel very emotional, very disrupted, and very unhappy? Do you want that for us, or do you want us to be happy? Just put the ball on their roof, on their court, and then let them decide, let them brainstorm with you. Most likely they won't want that for you. So then you can ask them, so what can we do? Have you thought of donating? Have you thought of running an auction? Have you thought of private selling things? Have you thought of sending an email to all your friends and see if anyone wants this piece? And then you start doing this process slowly, in a pace that feels good to them. And then you start getting them ready for when the moment of downsizing happens, things are taken care of. It's a bit easier. Okay? So my kids don't want any of my things, which is another motivation to release. Yeah, Jana, beautiful. At least you are aware of it. At least you accept it, right? You have accepted that your kids don't want anything. So now that's not on the table anymore. So now what can you do with your things? And it's really good that you are taking charge in taking action about what to do with that, because that's something that if you don't do it, someone else has to do it. And it's not fun to do it for someone else, because when you are no longer there, or you have an accident, or you passed away, like, people are going to be suffering, people are going to be grieving, and the last thing that they want to do is deal with your things. So the easier you make them, the easier you do the process for them, the better. Okay. Yeah, I don't want my kids going through that. The stuffed animals I still collect at my age. And guys, and Cecilia, there are a difference here between, so you don't have to get rid of emotional items, okay? So you don't have to. I only invite people to do that when those items are on the way for them to live the life that they want, okay? Many times I go into homes that people have big homes, they have enough space, and they have collections of things that they love, and they have them displayed, they can see them, but then they are feeling like, oh, I shouldn't have so much. But then I always ask the same, like, are you frustrated? Do you need the space for something else? So why do you feel the need of getting rid of these things if you love them? What is the need behind that? Is it because you want to do something different? Is it because you are frustrated every time you are cleaning and maybe you just don't like cleaning those things? Or is it because someone else has told you that you have too many things but you love them? So that's why it's so important to connect with yourself and connect with what you want and need. And then look around and see, okay, I have collection of teddy bears. I have collection of uh, Coca-Cola bottles. I have collections of instruments, whatever. So then honor them, display them, take care of them. Uh, so use them in a way that you feel well. Sometimes you may have something in the basement in boxes, but maybe you rotate things. Maybe you say, now I am displaying this collection of things. 2 months from now, I will feel inspired. I will put all these things in a box, and I will take the other collection of things that I love, and I will change my space. I will display something different. And that makes me feel that my space is alive and it's evolving with me. So sometimes I invite people to do that. You don't have to display everything all at once, but you need to have a system to be able to store things away in a way that you can find them, in a way that things are taken care of, and then you can allow time for that rotation to happen. Okay? So it's important to really find your balance, and you don't have to get rid of everything that you love. Please don't do that. And you don't have to get rid of things that are emotional either. I only recommend doing that when you know that those things are no longer needed, when you know that you are not going to use them anymore, and you don't have the physical space to store them, or that item is staying on the way for you to become something else or to use the space in a different way. So that's when that becomes a challenge. And that's when I invite you to find ways of giving those items a new life. But if you can have them, keep them, love them, and honor them, then do that. Okay? So guys, we are 5 minutes away from finishing. Scanning could work through. Scanning could work, though I think that feels too removed. Yeah, I see you guys are in the chat. So question for me from Amy. Emilio, how do you personally incorporate spiritual guidance in this process? I feel like I need that step by step. So, okay, spiritual guidance about emotional items. This is like everything in life, guys. Anytime you are not sure about something, ideally you will spend a little bit of time with yourself. Okay? Spending time with yourself can mean sitting down and doing a quick meditation, can mean going for a walk in the woods, can mean sipping coffee in front of a beautiful window if you have trees in front of you. Maybe today it's kind of snowing, so maybe make myself a coffee. I sit at the patio or I sit in the kitchen and I by the window, and then I kind of look outside and I see squirrels, I see birds, and that's my reflection time about what do I want, what do I need. It's also journaling. It's also thinking about your life vision, what kind of activities, what kind of person you want to become, uh, journaling those ideas, doing a brain dump that I talk about, doing a brain dump, brainstorming options, possibilities, seeing which one calls you, following your intuition when that happens, talking with people that you love, people you live with, exchanging ideas, brainstorming possibilities together. Um, so all those things, all those avenues are going to help you connect with yourself and connect with what you really want. Not what other people want, not what society want, what you want. And then also like doing work of visualization, work about, I do this even for live sessions, guys. Sometimes I read the topic a few days before doing the session, and then I visualize myself live in the session, and I actually practice with myself about what am I gonna say, what's coming for me about this session that I want to share, why I think that's important, what is my intention. So I do that a few times, especially with sessions that I'm not very familiar or I don't remember very well the layout, so that I don't have to read a script. And also so that I can connect with the reality for me about that topic. So this is why it's so important for you to do the work. Okay? So question, what was the question you asked us in the beginning about our identity? How do you want to be? Yeah, so Amy, when you are thinking about your life vision, some questions that can help you find what that life vision is, you can look at life from different angles. You can look at life about what kind of person do I want to become? Okay? So, for example, Emilio, I want to become a person who meditates every day for 20 minutes. I want to become a person who every month does 4 workshops. I want to become a daddy that does this and that for his daughter. I want to become a person that every week goes for a social activity. I want to become a person that reads one new book every month. So you start thinking about what do I want to become? And then start thinking about what kind of activities do I want to create in my life? Okay, how do I want to use my time? How do I want to feel? How do I want to create a life together with my wife? What are the similarities that we share? Maybe we go on a date and we talk about it. Maybe we make a life plan together in our shared life. Maybe we realize in my marriage with Samantha, we have our common goals, but then it's very important for us to have our independent goals and independent time because we need that to feel well as individuals. So for us, that's a reality, that's a vision, that has to be part of our life vision. And from that life vision, I understand that she needs that. She understands that I need that. And from that awareness, we then create a week, we schedule our time, and we do activities that fit that vision. Okay? And we understand why we are doing it. And we reassess and reflect together about those things when we need to, when we are not clear, when we are not confident, when we are emotionally charged or upset or frustrated. So it's that journey of taking action, reflecting, tweaking, taking action with the new steps that you have created, reflecting, tweaking, taking action, evolving. It's like this constant back and forth, this constant give and take, this constant take action and reflect. Use your executive functioning skill of metacognition to think about the way you think about the way you act, think about what you do and how those things are making you feel. And also use time to disconnect from everything and really be inside with yourself and really understand what you want and what you need. Okay, so hopefully this will help you then dive deeper into, you can dive deeper into every area of your life after, and then really question, what do I need to see happening in this area of my life now? Maybe you feel conformed with your spiritual life, but maybe you don't feel well about your physical life, and maybe that's because your paperwork is not in order. So what can you do with that specific area to make it better? And then once you tackle that area, what's next for you? What feels good? Where do you want to flow into? So it's this kind of dance with life, like dance with your needs, and dance with the things that come to you, and then you interact with them. So yeah, metacognition, guys, it's an executive functioning skill that I will talk about in the future. Don't worry. And I am creating a course about executive functioning skills, and that's one that is very important, because metacognition is the skill that will allow us to reflect and to tweak and adjust to changes, to try something different, and to become a different person rather than the routines and habits that we always followed and they always are on autopilot. Every time you are trying to create something new in your life, you need to step into something uncertain, something unfamiliar, and you have to start creating that new reality, okay? Because it doesn't exist yet. When you sit in silence, when you connect with yourself, when you visualize what you really want, when you think about what you want and you allow yourself the time to think about it, that's when you start to create something different. That's when you start to create something new. And once you start, the more time you spend thinking about it, reflecting, feeling it, visualizing it, the more it's going to become a reality, because it's fresh in your mind, your body's getting used to that idea, your emotions are getting used to that idea, you most likely are feeling emotionally connected, emotionally excited about that. And then we tie into the law of attraction, that I have some sessions about the law of attraction and things that you can do to attract the things that you want into your life. And at the end of the day, is where your attention goes, energy flows. That's the concept that you have to think about. So whatever you are thinking about and placing your attention into, that's where all your energy is going towards. That's why I'm inviting you to sit in silence and think about what you want, not what you have, not what is already happening, not what you don't want. Just focus on, what do I want? And then make your energy flow towards that direction. And that's going to help you start creating the right circumstance, the right environment, making the right decisions, communicating more clearly, gaining confidence with what you really want and why. Okay? And that's a process that only can happen when you spend time with yourself. In whatever way feels good to you, create time to journal, create time to do a brain dump, create time to dream together with someone, create time to visualize a future that is appealing to you, a circumstance that is appealing to you, and then spend as much time as you can thinking, feeling, reflecting, and visualizing that new reality. Okay? Uh, yeah, guys, thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate your presence as always. I always appreciate you staying until the end. And just a reminder that this session, it's a part of my course, Creating Your Clutter-Free Home. It's a 30-day course where I will teach you how to do the invisible work before you get started decluttering and organizing every area of your home. So the first few sessions of that course are going to help you become aware, connect with your life vision, declare your intentions, and then learn a step-by-step process that you can follow to take the physical action required. Create routines that you can maintain your successful clutter-free home after. And then I dive into every space of your home: your bedroom, your bathroom, your garage, your attic, your office, your kitchen, your living room, your entryway. I cover every space in your home, your closets. So everything is covered in that course. It's my longest course. So you take that course and I promise you that you will make a lot of progress. Also, there is a course classroom that you can always use. Anytime you finish one lesson, you can ask any questions, you can share a celebration, you can share a challenge, you can share a strategy that you use and worked, and then I will be there to support you with an audio recording. Okay? So that's how you can get support from me, accountability, and you can see what other people are doing too and get inspired together. So I hope to see you guys in that course. This is a course. If you go to my profile on Inside Timer, just go to courses and you can just enroll right away and do it at your own pace. Okay? I also have 2 other courses that you will see, but today is all about creating your peaceful and clutter-free home. Okay? And you can find that on my Inside Timer profile under courses. Okay? And if you are listening to the recording, don't worry, I will put a link below so that you can click on that link and you will see the courses that I have in there. So guys, let's do a quick session, a quick practice to get out of this session together. Okay? So as always, get comfortable. I invite you to close your eyes. Close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths with me. Now I want you to connect for a few seconds with the future that you want to see for yourself. It can be general, or you can think about a specific area of your life. It's up to you. There is no right or wrong. Just connect with something that you would love to see in your life. Just connect with the new reality. It has already happened. Okay, whatever you want, it has already happened. And you are already there. How do you feel? What do you see around you? How are these changes impacting your life now? And what about the life of all the people around you? Just stay there for a little bit. Just visualize that new reality. And feel it. I want you to feel it. You don't need to know how to do it. You don't need to know how to get there. You don't even need to know how it's going to unfold or happen. You just need to know what you want. Because there are 1,000 different ways of getting to the same destination. And it is not your job to know how to get there yet. You just have to connect with the new reality. So I invite you to do this exercise as often as you can with everything that you want to change in your life. Anytime you are feeling a frustration, allow yourself a little bit of time, even a minute, to just think, I don't like this. So what do I like instead? What do I want instead of this? And then start focusing your energy in that. Stop wasting energy. I'm frustrated. I don't like this. Why this person did this to me? Why did I do that? Blaming yourself. blah, blah, blah. Stop everything. Okay, I don't like this, I don't want this, I'm frustrated. What do I want instead? And then place your energy there. And I promise you that you will start to find steps to move towards that new reality. And you will stop wasting time complaining, blaming yourself, blaming others, feeling upset. It's okay to feel upset, but just for a little bit. Put a timer, 1 minute. I'm gonna feel upset for a minute. Scream, have a tantrum, whatever you need. And then once the timer goes off, think about what do I want instead. And that's it. Start moving forward towards there. Okay? So guys, have an amazing rest of your day. I hope to see you on Thursday. We will keep talking about topics on how to create your peaceful and clutter-free home. And I hope to see you there. And I hope to see you in the meantime inside the course. Please enroll and engage in the course classroom. I love reading from you. I love knowing what you are doing and supporting you with anything that you need. Okay? See you then. Have an amazing rest of your day and enjoy. Adios.